today. Okay, he is the senior market research analyst with GFGI. All right, let me just show you guys the official website, Facebook page of GFGI. Let's get a moment. Okay. All right, so this is the official Facebook page of GFGI. There's more than 70,000 followers in Cambodia, I believe. And they are into a lot of gold trading, right, Mr. Chin?
Yep. We are more focused on gold. Most Cambodians love to trade gold.
Most Cambodians love to trade gold, yeah? Okay, all right. So let me just double check and see whether are we having the transmission clear right at the moment. Yes, we have a clear transmission. Good to go. My IT side say let's go for it. Okay, so guys, if you're interested to know more about trading gold in Cambodia, Gold Financial Global Investment, short form, GFGI. All right, this company is situated. You can see that this is the address at the moment. You can contact them. So Chin, you are with this company for some time, I believe.
Yeah, around 2 years.
Around 2 years, okay. And what do you have to take away for this company then?
Very reliable, very financially very strong. And we are the only company in Cambodia that has both CCP license, which is the central counterparty license, and as well as a derivative broker license. So we are fully licensed in Cambodia.
I see. Fantastic. Yeah. And on top of that itself, can I just ask a question here? Is that for Cambodia itself, right? If anyone want to invest with GFGI, right, want to start trading with GFGI, what's the minimum amount for coming in?
I think we start from very small, $100 and above.
Oh, that's very good. That's $100 US, I believe.
Yeah.
Ah, I see. I can see that GFGI have a long heritage of history and background. Yeah. Okay, all right. So if you guys interested to find out more, please go to the official Facebook page to look at it. And if not, you can actually contact us. We can link you to Mr. Chin, which is now residing in Cambodia, I believe.
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Okay, just give me a moment because there's so many people now coming online asking a lot of questions at the moment. So I'm trying to make sure that things are going fine at the moment. Yeah, just give me a short while, Mr. Chin. Okay. Okay, as I believe today we have a lot of things to cover, all right, and primary itself, right, let me just give the audience a rundown of what we will be covering for today, okay? So first of all, Mr. Chin, I noticed that you shared with me the back last time before we start this have this session, you mentioned that you are kind of bearish with the US dollar, all right, yes. You're very bearish with the US dollar. So I mean, per se now, at the moment, the US dollar is now pretty strong at the moment.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. So what do you think that is actually giving you this insightful feel that this is going to be a time to sell the US dollar?
I think I think we're approaching a time that the dollar will slowly turn down. Yes, you were right to say that the dollar has been pretty strong. I'm also pretty surprised by the strength of the US dollar. Obviously, because of the recent rise in interest rates, and right now they are sort of like stopping their rise in interest rate, and they decided to actually cut, but they are delaying the cut because inflation has not really come down, as you know very well. And so they are delaying, and because of the delay in the cutting of interest rates, I think the dollar has been pretty strong. And despite their interest rates rises, actually, you look at the economy, they are quite strong as well. I mean, all the data coming up are pretty strong, but recently the labor market also has been very strong.
Okay.
But recently we see that it's beginning to decline. The US economy is beginning to decline. And so I think we are at the point whereby I think dollar may do a turn soon.
Okay. So let's just ask this question then. Because we always been hearing a lot of people calling for the dollar to go down, but dollar has been really strong at the moment. Do you think that it is possible that, you know, Jerome Powell and friends say, you know what, let's continue the strong dollar, which I think that's what the White House wants, right?
I think they would like a strong dollar because they are very you know, US current government is heavily in debt. And if your dollar becomes too weak, people will not invest in your bonds, and it's difficult for them to loan money. So it will impact their what I call it. They need to roll over their debt, and if people stop believing in the dollar because the dollar is so weak, they will have difficulty borrowing money from others by through the debt market. So if that's the case, then they have a problem. So with the huge debt that they have, so I think the US would like the dollar to be strong, or at least to be stable, not necessarily to be very strong, but it wants it to be stable.
I see. I
So
understand.
that people will continue to invest in their bond market.
I see. I see. So you are the expert in Forex and you've been in the market for many, many years, right?
Yes.
We from your this accolade. So the thing is this, is it time for us to short the dollar then?
Yeah, I think the time is coming soon with the debt rising at the unprecedented 34 trillion or 35 trillion coming to. And right now their debt what you call it? Their debts are rising by $1 billion in every 100 days. A trillion every 100 days.
Okay.
So with that, 100, I can't remember the number. I think 100 billion or a trillion. Do you know, Kevin? Every 100 days, their debt is increasing by a trillion.
Oh, okay. Okay. Basically, the last number that we all know is that now it's at $34 trillion, right?
Yeah.
So it's every 3 months itself, they increase by $1 trillion, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yes. And
I
kind of
can't
scary
remember
because if you think about it for one moment itself, right? Imagine this is $1 trillion every 3 months. So which means that the interest they are paying itself is as much as $50 billion.
Yep.
My God, this is insane. I mean, talking about 50 billion is like some country's GDP.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, that's right.
Incredible. Thank you, Chin, for sharing.
Yep.
So at the moment on the US dollar, as the dollar index right now is trading, it's currently now trading at, let me just take a look on the screen. Just give a moment. I think that where we are right now for the US dollar, do you have the number for US dollar at the moment? I just kind of miss out my screen.
I think it's 10 something.
10 something? 10. Okay, I'm just sorry I do mix. It's a little bit of hiccup this morning, but then it's okay. We can get around it. Yeah, hold on. Sorry. Let me just pull the thing here. So the current DXY value now at the moment, we can see that the dollar index is trading at about 105, right? At the moment.
Yep. But the dollar index, I would say that is very skewed to the euro, and the euro has been pretty weak recently because of the political turmoil in the European countries.
Okay.
So the recent strength in the dollar is not due to the strength in the dollar rather than the weakness of the euro.
Okay.
Right, and then also the Swiss has cut interest rates, but recently, as you know, that the France Macron has called for election.
Right.
Right now, he's very much behind in the polls.
Okay.
And so there is a certain kind of a political uncertainty in Europe, which is causing the euro dollar to come down, rather than then of course dollar index is very much a big percentage is based on the weightage is a high weightage is on the euro dollar. So I think the dollar strength recently has been weighed down, has been supported very much by the euro weakness.
I see. Let's take a look at the US dollar chart right now. I think a lot of people they are more going to have a visual feel of the current situation here. All right, we can see right now the US dollar chart. All right, let me just see whether on my screen is coming up here. Just give me a short moment. Is that going live at the moment? Let me just double check. Is it on the, let me see the focus. Is it on? I think it should be. All right, let me just. Okay. Yep, we have it on screen right now. So this is the US dollar index chart. As you can see, we're having a bit of sideway for the moment right now. You can see that. As you can see over here. So it's bouncing between the 105.50 to about 103.50, right, Chin? Can you see that on your
Yep.
screen?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so for this view itself, right, you believe that how low can the US dollar be heading to that? Of course,
For
this is
me,
a disclaimer applied as usual, yeah. Okay.
I think they're calling for the market is ultimately the dollar will eventually collapse if things were to work out the way we see it to be. I think it might go below 100.
You think that it will go below 100? Wow. Okay, that's a very big view there. And by the way, I just see my good friend Benedict is online right now. He is also a gold bug investor. We have interviewed him before, and he is also confirming that yes, indeed, it's about 1 trillion US dollar per 100 days. Thank you for your comment. Thank you, Benedict. All right. So 100. Now, if it's going to be 100 for this case, well, I cannot imagine this, but that will really create a incredible inflation, right? If I'm going to get it correct.
Yeah.
And how big do you think that this will arrive with too?
Yeah, I think the situation now in US is that they could be facing a situation of stagflation.
Mm.
In the sense that economic start to slow down, at the same time they're facing high inflation.
Okay.
And so if that's the case, the only way to go is to go.
Go for
Because if
gold.
inflation rises and they have inability to use their monetary policy to curb the inflation, something has to crash. Either they let the economy crash or they let the inflation go higher. Either way
Okay.
it happens, gold is going to be very strong because everybody will shoot towards the safety.
Okay, since we're on this gold topic, which is one of the main topic for today itself, right? You can see that we do have people asking the same question: how high would gold be going? Okay, how high gold will be going? So, Mr. Chin, what do you think? Do you think that gold itself will go much higher than with current price right now, despite
Yes,
that
I
now
think yes.
we are all at
I think
all-time high at the moment?
yeah, I think right now, of course, the target right now is 2,500, which is but it's quite near. But I think by the end of the year, we should be heading towards the higher side, the upper range of 2,500 to 3,000. So I wouldn't be surprised if we can reach 3,000 by the end of this year, because the first half we are trading below around 2,000 to 2,005. I think by the second half of this year, we should be trading in the upper ranges of the 2005. So it should be around 2007, 2008, and possibly hitting around the 3,000 psychological level.
Okay, so let me just bring in the chart once again. It's always good to do some reference to the chart. And currently now the gold price, as we can see, is kind of consolidating
Yes.
between the 2,280 level around there. We're having it right now somewhere on screen, hold on. About 2,280 level and to 2,380 level. So it goes about 100-point range at the moment right now, right? So I was just thinking, yes, so Mr. Chin, sorry.
Based on if it breaks out from the 2005, based on the target, the range, about $500 range, I think it is quite reasonable to expect that it will reach 3,000 if it breaks out from the 2,500 breakout. Because we expect a target of at least $500.
$500, yeah?
Yeah, that means from the breakout of 2005, the market could rise to another 500 because this is the range that has been capping it for the last few months, right? From 2000 to 2005.
Okay.
So if it breaks up from 2005, we could be looking at the target of at least 3,000 this year.
Wow, 3,000. I'll put it down for you then. So you are saying that once the breakouts come in, we can hit as possible.
Yeah, if it breaks above 2005.
Oh my goodness, it's gonna be a big one because we have never seen this type of price before, right? I mean, the highest we ever went was somewhere around here, which is about 2450 level, right? About 2450. That was the high. If I'm not wrong, it was back then. It's somewhere in the mid of May, this year. Yeah. So you're looking at 3,000. Okay, that's a very strong what they call verdict over here. So if that we can go, maybe we hit gold past 2450, I'll invite you once again. And who knows, you may give me a higher level, right? Wouldn't that be great? Okay. Okay, I will definitely call you. Okay. All right. So now let's go back to this. Now, inflation is a big concern. The question is this: do you think that the Federal Reserve will actually cut interest rate? If let's say they do cut interest rate by one time, and then they realize that inflation starts to really surge, do you think that they will hike back interest rate instead?
I think it's very hard for them to hike interest rates right now because we have a big debt problem, right?
Mm.
And if they will hike interest rates, that means when they roll over their debt, they will have to pay higher interest. Right now, they have to pay about 4% for the 10-year bond, 4.3 or 4.2. But can you imagine if they raise interest rates? They could be paying another 1% for the new bonds that they issue. Because when their bonds expire and they don't have money to pay, they need to roll over their debt.
Right.
And they need to reissue the new 10-year bond at a higher interest rate of 4.3% right now. If they raise, it'll be more 4.5, 4.6, 4.7, 4.8. So I can't imagine how much debt they will be incurring because it's going to already snowball. And that will really snowball. And so I think they are in a very, very bad situation whereby even if inflation goes higher, they cannot hike interest rate anymore. So their hope is that the inflation comes down. So something has to crack. So they can't raise. So if the economy do crash based on high inflation, they may not raise interest rates. So what they do is they will do QE.
Okay.
So because QE, that means they keep on printing, and that will cause the dollar to crash because they can't raise anymore, right? Because when they raise interest rates, they will incur more debt. So the only way to calm the economy or to help the economy, the only option left could be doing QE.
All right, got your point. So let me just summarize for some people who just came in. All right, so you're saying that the US dollar will have to go down pretty soon because there is a possibility that inflation will continue to rise. And if they're not going to crash the stock market, if they're not going to do that, something had to give in, right?
Yeah.
And of course, and when that happens itself, and if something really terrible happens to the economy, if it ever happens, then they will need to basically implement QE, which is printing more money. So that's the reason why you believe that the dollar will still come down and there's a good time to buy more gold. All right?
Yes.
All right. So with that, right, how about this? If compare gold to silver right now, gold is trading at about, now it's at new all-time high at 2363 level around there. But silver itself is still trading about at $30. Okay. Now, we all know that silver during the 2011 period where silver shot up, it went up to as high as $50. Do you think that silver will actually goes back to the $50 mark once again?
Yes. I actually am in GFGI. Every time we have seminar, we always talk about gold, buying gold. For the last year, we talked about buying gold, but one of our favorite call is on silver actually.
Silver call is on silver. Okay, let me just bring
to buy it because we think that the silver is going to outperform gold in the next leg because right now the gold silver ratio is around 78. If I'm not wrong, 78. It went as high as 90. The gold silver ratio went as high as 90, and now it has dropped back to below 80.
Okay.
But we think that the gold silver ratio will drop even further, maybe down to 40 or 50.
Okay.
So if that's the case for the gold, if the gold were to stay here or even rise more, then the silver will rise even much higher or even much quicker.
I see.
So this
now
32 level mark, I think it will eventually break. We will probably try the 50 by the end of this year as well.
Okay, so you are actually giving a quote at the moment and says that now silver is actually a good time to load in, and you are looking at the potential to raise to be as high as $50 US.
Yes.
Am I right to say that? Yeah.
Yes, even higher. Some people are calling even 100.
100. Okay, 100. Okay. All right. For me, it's all right. Actually, I kind of agree with you with the gold direction. In fact, I kind of believe that gold should be hitting as high as 2868 level, something very similar to yours. So I'm quite happy that I have you, the expert here, calling the same number. Right, so that it put me in the right spot. And I also agree that silver could be going towards $50 because I also believe that, I mean, minimally, that was an all-time high back then. So if gold is going to 2,800, then it's quite clear that silver could be also extending its run towards the 50 zone, yeah? Because I have a lot of friends who actually bought a lot of silver recently. They've been telling me that, KEL, why the silver is not moving? I said they just had to wait for a while, right? Don't you agree with that?
Yep. Because I think a lot of people have been calling silver higher, but it hasn't really moved. A lot of people are getting a little bit disappointed with the silver, because there are a lot of experts out there who've been calling silver higher. But eventually, I think with the current situation now of the BRICS and the dollar situation and the dollar debt rising so high so quickly, I think it will get there. It will get there eventually. So I'm pretty sure about that. So I hope that we have to be patient to wait.
All right. In fact, someone just comment, I just saw again, industrial silver demand is also outstripping supply at the moment right now. And the annual mining actually output is less than the annual consumption. So Chin, if this is going to be what's happening, that means that the demand is not able to, the supply itself is not able to cover the demand. And that could actually lead to an explosive movement to the upside, right?
Yes. So I think Mexico mining industry, I think they have some restriction there. So the supply hasn't really been that strong. But at the same time, we see that the demand is expected to pick up aggressively because of the green energy, right? And solar and silver is heavily used in the solar panel. Not only in solar panel, also in the EV cars, and also in all the surgical environment. So the demand for the silver is expected to rise aggressively. So based on the demand supply alone, the silver should be trading higher. And also silver is money. Gold and silver used to be money. And so eventually, and then a lot of central banks are holding gold, but they are not into silver yet. So eventually, if the central bank were to invest, put out some of the money into silver, then I think silver will rise very quickly.
All right, for those who just joined us, I can hear that is how the eloquent Mr. Chin, right? Let me just give you a bit of feedback, a bit of run on his accolade once again. Now, Mr. Chin is currently now the Senior Market Research Manager at GFGI. It is a broking company in Cambodia, all right, with more than 5 years in the market, I believe. And Mr. Chin previously was a account executive, or we put it as known as a futures broker with On First Chicago Private Limited for more than 10 years.
Yes.
In fact, itself, he has been a seasoned Forex dealer with a few banks like Bank of East Asia and Credit Lyonnais Bank, all right? And so he is actually an expert in Forex. So that's the reason why we have this interview right now. And today, Chin has been covering a lot on how his view on the US dollar and his view on the gold and silver. For those just joining us, right, because it's a Facebook Live, you can actually you can watch this right now live, and later on just have to just go back to the same video, pull back, you can watch the entire video from the start. All right. So the thing is this, now this is going to be a bomb question here itself. Okay. The thing is now people who are actually more seasoned like yourself, okay, they are asking the same question. Is it a time to actually buy into the Aussie dollar? Because sorry to interrupt you, sorry. Because you see, if you are telling me that the US dollar is going to go down and it's going to bring a huge influx of buying frenzy in the commodity market, then likelihood is Aussie dollar will be the best bet on this. Do you agree with this statement?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Actually, even before we talk, I think during my seminars or during our analysis in the morning to our staff in the company, we have been calling for Australian to go higher, much higher, mainly because Australia is a mineral export country, right? So they export a lot of minerals, and not only that, they have the most amount of unmined gold in Australia. So basically, like we mentioned, like Australia is sitting on the gold mine, basically. So if the gold prices were to rise, it will benefit Australia immensely. And also, we are also talking about a commodity bull cycle coming. Not only we're talking about gold, but all commodities are expected to rise. As inflation rise, you need to hedge into commodities because commodities has no counterparty risk, right? So people will move into commodities as a hedge against the inflation. So we are talking about a commodity. If that happens, if there's a commodity bull market cycle coming, I think Australia will benefit a lot. Not only Australia, but countries like Canada too, who are major exporters of minerals and raw materials. And not only that, I see that Australian interest rates are still pretty low at about 4% as compared to the rest. So I don't think they will cut interest rate anytime soon.
I see. So if you look at
There's no need for
Aussie
them with
chart,
inflation like that. So I think Australia is poised to go higher, based on not only on the commodity, but also from the interest rates side. I don't think Australia is in any time to cut interest rate.
all right. So if you look at the Aussie chart right now that's on screen, you can see that we have a very tight consolidation at the moment now between the 0.65
Yep.
to 0.67. Okay, this range is almost identical to the gold chart right now, the silver chart right now. It seems that on the technical ground, okay, because I know that you are not into technical, you're more a fundamentalist. So I'm coming from a technical point of view. So we are like looking out here itself. Like, do you think that this consolidation is just gearing to a potential explosive movement in the second half of this year?
Yes, I do. I think we are in a sideways market right now, and looking for a break to above 67.
Okay.
And probably 68, 69, even 70 cents is within the range. I think we might, because based on that pattern alone, it should be easily 200 points move. So if we break above 67, I think easily we should try 69.
Wow. Okay. So I'm going to correct myself over here. I was just looking at 68, but you're looking at 69. Wow, that's a big number.
Because it's the 200 point range, right? 200 pip range. So if you break above the side, I mean, the target would be 200 point as well. So 200 pip as well. So
indeed. Yeah, I see. I see your point here. Wow, okay, that is very insightful for all of us to take note, guys. So if you're into Forex trading, if you're thinking that, you believe that what's going to happen pretty soon, which I also stand believe that the US dollar should likely be coming down because they seem to be in a checkmate position because they see that there's no other way to go. And with the lesser countries buying into the US bonds, right, a lot of countries, central banks are all entering to buy gold. I believe that this is not the end. In fact, this is just the beginning, right? But recently, China has decided to, start to reduce or start to stop buying for their gold reserve. And that created that pullback in gold. Being asked this question again. So what do you think what have happened back then?
I think that news, it is that on paper, this is the amount of gold China bought, but under the table, you actually do not know how much gold China is buying. And then it's not in their interest to report the right figure.
Okay.
Because I wouldn't want to scare them. For example, if I'm going to buy gold, why would I tell the world I'm buying gold?
Right.
I like to buy gold, accumulate gold. If I'm accumulating something, I want to keep quiet until I'm fully accumulated.
Yes.
So it's not in the China's interest to reveal exactly how much gold they are buying.
I agree with
so
you.
All these reports, I wouldn't put that much of a what I call it,
into that, you won't be focusing too much on this, because now we can see that gold on this very day, that was I think on the 7th of June, gold plunge, and there was one reason given was because China stopped buying into the reserve, and that day gold have a horrendous day. All right, but we all know that gold was a buy, and you can see from the chart, gold bottomed out somewhere around 2280 level, and that was where we will also be calling people to buy into gold. And as of today, right now, gold is already trading at 2363, which is like way about $80 above the low. I think that this should be able, from a technical point of view as a trader, I think that it will easily break above the 2375 in the near term, right?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Mike. Kevin.
Sorry. Which part did I miss you? Sorry. Oh, okay. I just repeat myself. Basically what happened is that on this very day where the gold plunge, can you hear me, Chin?
Yep.
Okay.
The gold plunge was also because of NFP number, right?
It was also due to the NFP number. There was a few series of events that created this sell-off in gold. Right, and that was whereby many people were saying that is the end of the gold run, but I cannot, I do not agree. And that's the reason why we believe that the gold will go higher. So of course, I need to just share a bit for all my viewers today on our view on gold. You can see that this is our TWB crazy system. And you can see pretty clear that we are having the same both fundamental and technical view with Chin at the moment. So on this very day, we saw gold plunge, and in fact itself, we already have information that gold is selling. Now, because our KSI indicator is a big boys indicator, we were kind of worried back then when gold was going up this way this few days. In fact, we're telling our users to be careful because the momentum and the KSI indicator, both of them were kind of bearish. And fortunately, some of them hit to advice and they managed to get out before the market sell off that day. And once it came down, we kind of realized that our indicator called the KCX is blinking once again. And that was a very good telltale sign. And of course, when our chart view came in and said that this could be a base of the market, we began to share with our users that it's time to look into buying gold. And of course, when our big boys indicator turns green in color, that was where we know that the buying interest has started to step in. And because of that, I contacted Chin and asked him about the fundamental view. And Chin said that he also believed that gold will be going higher. So it's like a fundamental, technical comes together. And then we went into buy into gold. And of course, with the indicator giving us the very firm affirmation from the two signals, you can see at the bottom screen, two yellow arrows at the bottom, we know that it was a good time to buy gold. So a lot of our users start to accumulate gold around this area that's between 2,300 to 2,310. And with the blessing of Chin, who tell me that fundamentally he will go higher, we were able even to increase our position. In fact, when the KSI and the momentum comes together, where it's blue, green, and black comes together, wow, Chin, thank you so much. We added on position and then gold went higher. So we believe that this sort of synergy between us and Chin, who is now the senior market research in Cambodia, GFGI, this can become a very strong, a weapon for all the traders in the market. Do you agree?
Yes.
All right. So that is the reason why we are doing this series at the moment right now, to basically try to give more back to the society of traders who have been trying to find a way to make more money in the market. Because as Chin shared with me, you just cannot be focusing on fundamental, you can be only focusing on technical. The best selling point is to have the both of them, right? Am I right to say that? So we can actually...
We need both fundamental and technical, because if I can use all my tools to make money for myself, why do I want to shortchange myself and just use technical and not fundamental? Because both will help. Exactly. So I want to know as much as I can when I want to make a trading decision, rather than I don't want to leave out one side of it and leave myself with just one leg. I want to have both legs.
Okay, all right. Yeah. So that's the reason why. So that's the reason why I'm pretty sure that if once we get things moving as well, right, we will see a lot of you coming to our show. And of course, hopefully we can also have a bit of cross session with your people in Cambodia or the clients of GFGI to work together, and then let us all make money from the market together, right?
Yep.
Okay. All right. This is going to be the last question for this session. Okay. Now, if let's say we're going to go into, I heard you just now, you just mentioned, you believe that it's going to be a commodity bull run. Now, we saw it before back in the late 90s, whereby Jim Rogers, all right, he was so good. He caught the bull market and he made so much money. So, of course, after that, we all know Jim Rogers has not been that precise with his call. But now, do you think that this is the same time now? Because I just saw Jim Rogers coming in again, and he still believed that this is going to be a big run for the commodities.
Yep. So I believe many of the experts are calling for that, even Jim Rogers, right? I think Jim Rogers is always calling to buy silver. So I would like to believe in people like that, people who have done it, been there, done it. These guys are the ones that I want to listen to. So if these guys are wrong, then nobody will be right, I think. So I would like to follow the experts like Jim Rogers and
right. For those who don't know who Jim Rogers, he is the sidekick, the partner of George Soros, the one I think more famous, the legendary hedge fund manager who outbeat the S&P by more than 15 years in a row. And of course, Jim Rogers is also currently now a Singaporean, I think a PR in Singapore.
Living in Singapore, yeah.
Yes, indeed. All right, so I hope I get it correct. If I get it wrong, Jim Rogers, don't blame me, yeah?
He's living in Singapore, confirmed.
Yeah, okay. All right. I happened to have a short interview with him back then in my early days.
Yeah,
So I kind of remember him pretty well.
I remember too.
Okay, so the thing is this, is it a good time to really close both eyes and buy into commodities? Example like sugar, like wheat, corn, rice, What do you think? Do you think that is there any commodity in your mind that you want to look into it?
I'm not too sure about the soft commodity for myself. I think copper is a good. I think metals is a good buy.
Metals, yeah? What
Copper,
kind of metals
copper,
are you looking at?
platinum, silver. Of course,
Okay.
gold as well. But I think we want to find the leg that will run more. So the platinum is below 1,000. It used to be 2,000 something platinum.
Okay.
And now palladium is already 2,000, whereas the platinum is still trading below 1,000. I think over the longer run, platinum, silver, there's something to talk about uranium as well. So,
Mm,
but I'm just into silver. That's all.
I see. Okay, so now just one call. If I don't have some money and I want to invest in anything, okay, what will be the top pick choice in terms of ROI versus risk given from you? Of course, disclaimer applied.
Yep. You tell which has the best return.
Return versus risk. That means that if I can save
I
this, I
I
can just
I I
invest
I I think it's silver.
silver. Okay.
For me, it's
So
silver.
give us a target once again for those who missed us. So silver now is trading at 30 US dollars,
Yep.
upside by the end of the year and the downside by the end of the year.
I think that's the downside. I think we won't see. I think it's hard to see below 25.
Okay.
It will be very difficult to see below 20. I think if you put a $10 stop, I think you're pretty safe.
Okay. $10 stop.
And your potential is huge. The potential is easily 20, 30, $40.
Oh, wow. Okay. So
Yeah.
you're telling me
Because
silver will hit about
$30 to
60.
50 is already $20 rise, right? But I think
Yeah,
we do,
double.
yeah. So for
All
me,
right.
I think it's very hard to wait to drop below 20 again.
I see. All right. So once again, let's repeat to you. That's in case for all our listeners right now. You're saying that silver at $30 is a good time to accumulate some. You believe that by the end of the year will hit at least $50, if not even higher, like maybe $60.
Yep.
And the downside, you believe that the maximum is about $20.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to quote you on this. I'm going to leave it down here and I will let the market decide. And if we get anywhere nearer to the next target or next level, I'll invite you once again.
Yes.
Now, for those who are online with us once again, thank you for coming online. This is the new series here whereby we are going to interview experts like Mr. Chin from GFGI. So if you do have any friends around you and you think that they are very well versed in anything, all right, which is regarding the market, obviously, let me know. All right, write to us on Trade with the Boys. We will love to interview this person and hopefully we can share and bring a greater good to the greater cost to the trading economy and the community. Yeah. All right. So Mr. Chin, is there any parting message from us, from you to us?
No, I think I just went back to Singapore recently, as you know. So things are getting really, really expensive. So I think inflation is not going to go away very soon. So if inflation is not going to go away, I think we need to hedge ourselves because with the losing, with our depreciating currency, and with our depreciating currency all over the world, I think the only way is to have to hedge it out into commodities. So I think there's a very, very strong case that commodities will rise even further based on the fact that inflation is very difficult to go away.
All right. Thank you very much, Chin. Have a great day. This is Kel signing off. Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.